Today we're going to be doing a landscape animation to give your artwork movement. Okay, so here we are. Let's move on over into Procreate and I'll show you what I've got drawn up. Okay, so here we are. We've got this scene drawn up in Procreate. A lot of things are going to be moving in here. Basically, the background with the mountain and stuff is not going to be moving. So I've got it all on one layer, which is right here. It says mountains. So none of that's going to be moving in there. But as you can see, I've got a lot of these trees on separate layers because they are going to be swaying right to left, and I didn't want them all swaying at the same way at the same time because it's just going to look too robotic. So I've got a lot of these trees on separate layers. I've got some doubles, two or three of them I've got doubled up, so they're kind of separated. So when they move, they're not going to be right next to each other where it looks like as they're moving together, but they're going to be kind of spread out. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult to understand that they're on the same layer. So we're going to have those moving back and forth. Another thing that's going to be moving is the sun. So I've got this sun, which is composed of some concentric circles, and they're going to be expanding and contracting, kind of like breathing in a way. The sun is going to be doing that. And then we got some stars here in the background, and the stars, I've got 4 sets of stars, and they're going to be blinking on and off, and I didn't want them all to be blinking, everybody come on at the same time and everybody going off at the same time, because that wouldn't look good at all. So I've got them on 4 different layers. So they'll be blinking off and on kind of randomly, so it won't look all together. And then the other thing that's going to be moving are these shooting stars right here. So I've got 3 of those. They're all on separate layers, and they're going to be kind of shooting across the screen and probably fading off as they get to the lower portion of the screen. And that is about it. So what we need to do is we need to move all of this artwork over into Procreate Dreams. So let's go start our file in Procreate Dreams. Okay, so here we are in Procreate Dreams. If we want to start a new file, click on the plus in the top right corner right there. Here you're able to scroll through all the different sizes that you might want to make for all Instagram, Pinterest, or for whatever social media site that you like to create for. I am going to stick with this widescreen, which is 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to hit empty. And there is our stage. All right, let's move our artwork from Procreate over into Procreate Dreams, and I'll show you the best way that I like to do that. So go back over into Procreate. Here we are. Go into Gallery View, and then long press on your picture that you want to move over, and until you can move it around like that. Don't pick your finger up. Get out of that program. Go back into Dreams, and then pick your finger up, and it'll drop all of those good artwork that you did over into Procreate, and move it over into Procreate Dreams. Okay, so here we are, and I just now realized that my artwork was a different size than I normally do. So now I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. And I think, let me see if I upscale it. Let's see what that will look like. I think that'll work, actually. So what that's also going to do is it's going to give me my trees. It's going to give me some bottom part of the trees off of the stage. So I kind of like that because what it did was it made my trees go off of the stage on the bottom, which I kind of wanted to do. I was thinking about resizing just the trees themselves. But this is going to work out perfectly because the trees were originally drawn right on the very bottom of the screen. So if I actually moved one this way, the bottom of it was going to come up and you were going to see that space, that gap, which we did not want. So now that we have the bases longer than the stage, now when they go back and forth, we're not going to see any of that gap. So that kind of ended up pretty good anyway. Okay, so let's change a few things in Procreate. Let's click on the title. Go up into your top function there, which is mine is a star. Click on frames per second. We're going to change that to 12. And then for the duration, we're going to change that to 7 seconds. On the 1 minute mark right there, click on it, hit the backspace, and that will delete that. So we have 12 frames per second, 7 second animation, 1920 by 1080. Hit done, and we're ready to go. All right, so you can see, normally I change those specifications before I bring my artwork in, but for some reason I just didn't do that today. So when I changed the 7 seconds, you can see that it grayed out from here back, which is the 7 second mark right there. So all of that in the back there's not going to be seen anyway, so it don't really matter. Right now we have just a picture file. If I push play, nothing is going to happen because pictures don't move, and that is what our job is today. All right, so what we need to do first is we need to get all of those layers that we had over in Procreate into Procreate Dreams. The way you do that is you long press on the file you just brought in, and you click on Convert Layers to Tracks. Now you can see it has created a group for us now. If you click that little arrow by the group, now we can see all of those layers that we had over in Procreate are now here in Procreate Dreams, which now we'll be able to manipulate each one of those. Okay, so let's see. I think what I'm going to do first is, why don't we get that sun kind of breathing first. So I'm going to go to my sun layer, which is right there. And we are going to set a move and move and scale keyframe. So you can see that little, it creates a new little timeline right under our artwork. And then it adds a keyframe, which is that little square looking mark right there. Now, the way keyframes work is you set a keyframe, you set another keyframe, and then you move this one. Then what happens is from this point to this point, it will slowly move, or if they're closer together, it will quickly move from this position to this position. So it's kind of animates it for you. All right, so what we're going to do is, I don't want this pulsing to be really quick. So we're going to make this probably about maybe half a second. Let's try that first. So here's our 1 second mark right there. So I'm going to go to half a second, which is this 6 right there. And we're going to set another keyframe. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make it bigger. And then we're going to come out to the 1 second mark, and then we're going to make it smaller again. Okay, so let's see what that looks like, that one pulse. Okay, so it's still a little quick than I wanted it. So what we're going to do is probably change those to 1 second each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this keyframe and I'm going to slide it over to the 2 second mark. And I'm going to take this one and slide it over to the 1 second mark. Now let's see what that looks like. That's much better. But one more thing I can tell that I don't like is the easing. What easing is it eases in, eases out. So it starts off slow, picks up speed, and then slows down towards the end. I don't want that. I want it linear, which keeps the same speed from start to finish. So how you change that is where your little timeline of keyframes are. Long press on it. You're going to get this little menu here. And you're going to click on Set All Easings. We're going to change it to linear. Now, it's going to be the same speed from start to finish. So let's see that again. That's perfect. So 1 second is a good mark. Now we want this pulsing to continue throughout the full animation. So what I'm going to do is just going to add all those other keyframes in there. In the 1 second marks. So we're going to come to the 3 second mark. We're going to click on it again and we're going to make it big. And then we're going to go to the 4-second mark, and we're going to make it small. And the 5-second mark, make it big. And the 6 mark, make it small. And then the 7-second is our ending. And we'll make it big again. All right. Now I'll play that for you. Yeah, it's perfect. Yep. Okay, that's what we wanted. So that part's done. The next thing we're going to do is get these trees moving. All right, so I'm going to go into my first set of trees here, which is trees 1. We're going to click on it, hit move and scale. And where is that tree? I'm going to turn the little checkbox off. Oh, they're off the screen. Okay, let me see if I can move those up. Yep. Let's just move them up some. So we're going to go to this keyframe here. We're going to move them up where they're just barely showing. All right, now, I'm not sure if these are going to be too visible, but we're going to go ahead and animate them anyway. Okay, and the next thing we need to do is we need to set our anchor point. So if you click on the 3 little dots and we move our anchor point, we want that towards the bottom because we want them to rotate from this position here. So we want it down there, so that position is not going to move, but the rest of it's going to move. If we were to set our anchor point up here, and then we moved it back and forth, then it would move like this. All right, so we want it down here. All right, hit done. All right, so we got one keyframe there. We'll come over maybe to about 9 points of a second. And then we're going to click on a corner. You're going to get that little curved line right there, which is our rotation mark. So we're just going to make it move to that side. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to make it go back the other way. We're going to come out. We're going to make it go the other way. And I haven't got any like specific time frames that I want to do this. I'm just doing them randomly. Move it the other way, and we're just going to keep doing that till we get to our 7-second mark. Move it the other way, and then we'll set our last one. Move it back the other way. Now, I'm not sure we're going to be able to see all that, but let's try it. Let's play it, see what happens. It's a little fast, actually, for me. And they, like, take off. I must have moved. I think this keyframe, I moved them by mistake. Just going to put them back over here where they belong. And they stayed there. Okay, I'm going to 2-finger undo to back right there. I'm just going to add this back in again because I didn't see myself, but I moved it instead of rotated it. If you do not have your finger in the right position that Dreams likes, it's going to either resize it, it's going to move it, it's not going to do what you want it to do. All right, so let me see what that looks like now. I think now they're not going to move. Yeah, that's better. They are rotating a little quick. So what I want to do to slow that down is I'm going to take this keyframe and move it out over here. Take this one and move it out over here. And just keep sliding these over until they've got wider spaces between them. And then we're going to get rid of that one. Okay, let me see what that looks like now. I think there'll probably be, yeah, much better. Okay. All right, so that's fine for that one. That one's not really seen that much. This next one will probably be seen. Yeah, it's quite big. And I think it's just one tree. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to set a move and scale. We're going to click on the three little dots and we're going to move our anchor point way down here at the bottom. About right there. And then we're going to bring this timeline over to about 1.5 seconds maybe. And we're going to set another keyframe. And we're going to click on a corner and move it. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's fine. So that's good. I don't want it to move too fast. And then we'll set another one, then we'll make it go back the other way to about there. All right, let's see what that looks like. Yep. Yeah, that's great. Okay. So then we'll do again. No, see there it resized. So down two finger undo that. Come on. There we go. And there we had it move back. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Yep, that's great. Okay. So let's go up to our next set of trees, which is trees 3. Move and scale. 3 dots. Change the anchor point down here to the bottom. Hit done. Come way over here. And make it rotate that way. Make it rotate back the other way. And the other back the other way. All right. Now we have a couple of sets of trees moving. Let's see what they look like. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Let's move the next one. So now we have the tree 4, which is this big one right here. All right. And we're going to do move and scale. And 3 dots. Change our anchor point to the bottom here. I think I'm going to have him go to the left first. So if you're enjoying the content, I have a small favor to ask that makes a huge difference. Subscribing to my channel is like giving a virtual high five, and it means the world to me. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just supporting the channel, you're joining an incredible community of awesome people who love art just as much as you do. Imagine being part of something bigger where every view, like, and comment helps us grow and reach more awesome folks just like you. Plus, subscribing is super easy. It's just one click, but that one click has a ripple effect, helping me create more content, bringing new ideas to life, and spreading positivity all around. And hey, in the spirit of kindness, how about this? Subscribe and then go out and do something nice for someone today. Hold the door open for a stranger, leave a kind note for a coworker, or simply smile at someone who looks like they need it. Let's make the world a bit brighter together. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's make amazing things happen. Thank you for your support. You're the reason this channel exists. And click on a corner here and let's rotate that guy that way. And then about right here. Make him go back that way. And then about right here. I'm gonna have him go back the, oops, he got bigger that time. There we go. And I think that's good. Yep. Okay. And then the next one, trees 5. Move and scale. And 3 dots, anchor point down here to the bottom. All right, and then come over a bit. We're going to have him go to the right this time. About right there. All right, there. There. Okay. And I think that's all going to be it. There we go. Okay. Tree 6. Move, and scale. 3 dots. Set the anchor point down here to the bottom. All right, and I think I want this tree to be over to the left. I'm going to move him over here. Then we're going to come out here, resizing him. There we go. Move it over. And then we're going to move him back the other way. It's resizing again. Finger got to be in the right position. Back that way. And then back that way. Okay. Good. Okay. Now, this big tree here in the middle, he was supposed to be over here on the right side, so I'm going to put him over there. Let me find out which one he is. I think this one. All right, so that first keyframe, we're going to put him over here. And of course, he's going to slide all the way over. We don't want that, so what we're going to do is we're going to long press on this. We're going to delete, move, and scale. It's going to take all of those keyframes away so we can redo it again. So what we're going to do is move, and scale. Anchor point's already edited. And it can go that way. Come out some. And make him go back the other way. Same thing. Okay. All right, we got it. All right, which one we didn't do yet? We got trees number 7 now. All right, so move, and scale. 3 dots, set anchor point down here at the bottom. Come over here. Grab a corner and make it move. Make it go back the other way. And the other way. And the other way. About right there. All right, so that's it. We've got the trees moving. We've got the sun expanding and contracting. And now we want to get those stars blinking. All right, so this is going to be kind of a different animation. This will be a good lesson for you guys. So let me find my stars, which are right here. So this is the first set. So we're going to do a different kind of animation for these guys. We're going to click on it, and we're going to do a filter. And we're going to do an opacity. All right? And we're going to set the opacity to 0. All right? So that means they're going to disappear. They're not going to be seen. All right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, maybe 1 second or so, maybe past it. Now we're going to make that opacity go up to 100%. All right, so what they're going to do is they're going to fade from out to in. All right, and then we're going to come over. Going to click on it again, and we're going to make them fade out again. Fade in. Fade out. fade in. Okay? Well, let me see if I can see where those stars are at. Here's one. Okay, that's good. So when we get them all done, they're going to look, you can really notice it. Okay, so that's our first set. Let's go to stars number 2. We do the same thing. Filter, opacity, and maybe we'll leave these guys on because we don't want them all to be off at the start. So we're going to leave them at 100%. And then we're going to come over here, click on it again, and make it go 0. Come over more, back to 100. And down to 0 again. Back up. And then back down. All right, so now we got 2 sets. Let's see what that looks like. Yep. Okay, that's good. Let's do another layer. Stars number 1. Filter, opacity, we'll leave them on at first. We'll bring them over to here and we'll take them down. Maybe we'll do these a little bit quicker. Let's take that keyframe and slide it over here. We'll do that one fast. And basically do the same thing. Up and down, up and down. All right, and then let's do, I think I have star 0. Here we go. Filter, opacity, we'll do them at 50%. And then we'll bring it over here and bring it up to 100. So they're all going to be doing something a little bit different. Make them down to 47%. So they're not going to go all the way disappear. Then back up. They're just going to dim a bit. So that way it keeps kind of random movements. All right, that one's done. The last thing we need to do is do our shooting stars. So these are going to be a combination of 2 types of keyframe animations. One is going to be a movement, and the other one is going to be an opacity. So basically the same things we've already done, but we're going to add both of those to one thing this time. So we're going to go to our shooting stars. Here's one right here, or Meteor is what I named it. And he's off the screen right now, which is fine because that's probably what we want. So we're going to set a move and scale. And then we're going to have him come down to about right there. All right, so if we play that, it is going to shoot down to right there. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to do an opacity one. So as he starts getting closer to the horizon there, he's going to start fading out. So we're going to make him fade out from about right here. So make sure you're up on the main artwork there. Click on it and do filter and opacity. And then right here where he comes to the bottom of his animation, we're going to take it all the way to 0. So what that's going to look like is he's going to come in and then he's going to kind of fade out. That easy, very simple. Okay, we're going to take this other one here. So he's on the screen right now, so we need to move him where he starts off the screen. And we're not going to have all of them at the same time. So we're going to have this one come down and fade out. Now we'll have another one come on. So about right here, don't move it. And the reason I say don't move it is because we've already set a keyframe over here. If we move it here, it's going to slowly move from there to there. We don't want that. We want it to stay off the screen from here to here. Now we're going to make it move from here to, let's say, here. All right. And then let's say from about right here, make sure you're up on the main artwork, filter, opacity, and then fade him all the way out. So he's going to fade out right there. Okay, that's good. Now let's do the last one, which is Meteor 3. So we want to start him off the screen, move and scale, take him off. And we want him to go after that second one. So after that second one, For some reason, it looks like our opacity didn't work, or it changed. There we go. I fixed it. All right. So now we're going to have that last one here. He is going to come right here. Move and scale. And then we're going to have him shoot across here. About like that. That's good. And then we're going to have him start to fade out about right there. Filter opacity. And then take that down to 0. And that is going to end our animation today. So any kind of artwork that you have, if you add a little motion to it, it just makes it that more interesting. So I hope this has helped you. If you are interested in getting the assets that I used today, they will be on my Patreon page. In fact, if you subscribe to my Patreon page, you will get all of the assets for this channel, and I make videos once a week. And then on my other channel too, which is Scribble and Scribe, which uses traditional arts, pen and ink, markers, paint. You will get the sketches that I use for those also. So go check that out if you're interested. I'll put the link on the screen below. And having said that, I will leave the final animation at the end of the video. And I will see you guys next week for another Procreate or Procreate Dreams tutorial. Take care.